Phenomena. Phenomena. Phenomena.
Hello and welcome to another installment of the Teach Me to Code screencast. This one will be about how to use GitHub and just kind of the ins and outs. And so the first thing I did was I created a new GitHub account. This account is Teach Me to Code, and the first thing we can do here is create a new repository. So if I click create a new one, it comes down to where I can put in the project name. So we're going to call this GitHub example, and the description will be example of how to use GitHub. And we'll put in my website, Teach Me to Code. And because this is a free account, I can only create public repositories. If I wanted to create private ones, I could upgrade, which I highly recommend. I click Create Repository, and it will give me step-by-step instructions on how to set this up. So, first thing I need to do, let me just reorganize these a little bit, is download and install Git. Now I've already done that, and it's a very simple install, and if you need to do it, you can follow the guides right here. Click on guides and it will walk you through how to install it. So first thing we want to do, and I do say first thing a lot, so I guess it's not really the first thing, is I set up the username, and I can set up the global email. And there's another thing that I do like to set up is the actual username. So I believe it's username. If not, it's user. It might be user. So anyway, moving on, let's create our application and go into that. And on every application, now this could be a full Rails app that we already have up and running. On every one, we do a git init, which initializes Git into that folder, and then if we already had files, we don't need to touch them. And often when we create a Rails app that we're adding in, you don't do add readme. Typically I do git add dot, which will add everything in that folder and all the subfolders. So now we want to commit it, and now that that is committed, we can push it or actually set it to push remotely. Okay, let's do that and get push origin master. Now this probably won't work because we don't have a public key set up. So to do that, what you need to do is click on your account, and down here it says that you need to add a SSH public key. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now if you need help doing that, you can click this link, but I'll show you how to do that. So to create a public key, you do SSH-keygen and hit enter, and that will create a public and a private key, and you can rename it here if you want to. I'll keep it ID RSA, and yes, I want to override it. For this one, I don't set a password, but typically you should. And now for me to look at it, I just open up that file, and there is our public key. So we're going to copy that and create one here, call that home, and now we have a public key set up. So if you go back to your dashboard, you're going to see that you now have this project here, but if you click on it, you're nowhere further than you were before. So let's finish up that last step now that we do have our public key in place. And push that, and as you can see, it worked. So when you're done, click here, and here is our project. So you have a public clone URL and a private clone URL. Now, for all of those who are coming from all of those who have different GitHub accounts that want to clone this, they would use this link right here. Also, if it's just you can use this link right here, which will let you download it and work on it. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this folder, the GitHub example folder. So now I'm going to check it out into a different folder. So for me to do that, I just click on this little link right here, which copies that link to my clipboard, and I can do a git clone, and I paste that, and this is how you do a clone. So now you'll see we have our README file. Let's say I want to update this, so let me go. The README file is here. I can put code here, or whatever you want. So to find out what is different and what's changed within that Git repository, you can do a git status, and that'll tell you, okay, well, we've modified our README file. So I can commit that change by doing git commit -a and then -m. -a means that you commit everything that's changed. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can do commit readme, and then the -m is how you add a message to it. So added message, or added some text to the readme file. Now that that is added, we do a git push, and there we go. So if we come back over here and hit refresh, you see we have the new message, added some text to the readme file, and down here you can see the text that I put in. So that is how you pull and push to a GitHub project. So let's say we wanted to fork another project, and there's one that I'm very fond of, which is Ryan Bates' application, or his gem called well, let me find it here. It's the Nifty Generators. This is a great gem. And let's say I want to clone this and make some changes. So for me to clone it, I can do this where I just clone it out straight through. So let's say we do that. Now we can download the public version of his Nifty Generators, and you can see we have all of his code available to mess with. But let's say we wanted to actually update it and modify it and kind of make it our own. What you would want to do is you'd want to fork it. So if I click fork, it takes that whole project and copies it into my account. So you see we're now in the Teach Me to Code account, and here I'll go to my dashboard. So you can see we have Nifty Generators right here. So now if we go in, we can, let me delete this real quick, we can do a private pull on this. So git clone, and notice the URL is Teach Me to Code and not Ryan B. And after we do a private pull on that, we can make some changes to it and update it as our own. Oops, let me go into that. Nifty Generators, and we have here, so we can do whatever we want to this code, and let's just show that that we made a change. So we're going to say Eric's Nifty Generators. So now that we have that, we'll do a git status and see that we've modified the RDoc. So git commit -am, which is a shortcut. I want to commit all of my files with this message, updated RDoc. And then git push will push it straight up to my account, not his. And if I refresh here, you'll see that I updated the RDoc, and there we go, Eric's Nifty Generators. Now, something like this I wouldn't typically do a pull request on because it is a stupid change. You know, it's just not something that anybody would really want. But let's say I did something really cool on this. I created a new generator for him, or I modified it in a way that I think makes the project better. What I can do is what they call a pull request. A pull request is a way to tell the original owner of the project that you made a change that you think they'd like and you wanted to let them know. So to create a pull request in your account, you click pull request, and it allows you to type a message. Hi Ryan, I made a change I think you'd like. And then you can just check all the owners that that would be interested in knowing that, and then they would have the option to import your changes into their project, and that's how it works. So I hope this helped you out on how to learn GitHub and the ins and outs. It's a wonderful tool. I'm very happy that it came out, and I used to be an SVN-aholic, not anymore. This is definitely the right way to go for me, and thank you very much.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good, though.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!